Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Thanks to all the BDMs that came to our BDM Appreciation Party.
Holy moly, that was a good time, man.
And if you want to go to the next one, just make sure you're a BDM. You'll get invited.
You can sign up at tomanddan.com/registration. Everything can be adjusted there. Check your account. And yes, like Tom said, next time we throw another party like that one, you will be invited.
And you still have time to book your cruise. It's tomanddancruise2024.com for all the info.
Yeah. I figured like this was sort of just the warm-up for the cruise, because that's sort of like what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Sort of like that.
No, I know.
Sort of a vibe. That was a fun time.
Yeah, and also getting so drunk I forgot the end of the night.
Yeah, that's okay. You were having a good time. I wasn't even going to mention that because I am not the type of person, and I was hoping you would bring that up so I could counter with this. I am done with the days of giving any of my friends a hard time for going and having a good time. No more hard times for good times. I'm done with it. I'm done with it because the amount of pain.
I deserve it.
No. The amount of pain that you felt the next day was punishment enough, I believe.
It's funny. Didn't really. I wasn't really that hungover, and this is my theory that I took a break and then my body can process the alcohol maybe a little bit faster.
You say theory, just say guess. Say guess.
But I also got way drunker faster.
You did.
I didn't drink. I only had like 5 White Claw.
At one point,
so it wasn't that much.
Let me tell my favorite story. At one point, we were about to go up and we're going to make our final announcements. And we were going to go up there, and we were standing next to, I don't know if you remember this. We're standing next side stage, and we're on like a little wheelchair ramp. And we're about to go, like they were finishing up, and, you know, Rex and the team from Aloha Productions is out there crushing it, and we're about to go out. And you're like, final action. And I'm like, I got this. I was like, hey, I'll handle it. I got it. And so you're like, when I said that, when I looked you in the eyes, I said, hey, man, don't worry about this. I'm not drunk. I got this. I got the ending announcements. The look of anger on your face was you got a look in your eyes like, are you telling me I can't do the announcement? And I was like, is this motherfucker? Oh, is this mother ever? I have to write it on myself. That's how you know it's real. I was like, is this mother ever going to punch me in the face? Because I thought you were like mad at me. And then, so I made the announcements. You and I went out there. We made the announcements, and then we got off the stage, and then everything is like done. And then you went back out and made more announcements.
No. What else did I say?
No, nobody can understand it. It's fine. Nobody knew what you were saying, but I knew you were going to do the. I knew he was going to do the. Dan isn't doing a good job, so I have to go back there because you thought that I hadn't covered all the sponsors. You thought that I hadn't covered Aloha Productions.
What did I know?
The DJ. No, but I know that you, in your brain, you're thinking, I know what to do. I know the bases that need to be covered.
I don't know.
And you went back out there and gave one more speech. And nobody knew what you were saying, but it was fine. It was fine.
Ross and Jay Pinkham are here.
Hey!
How you guys doing?
What's going on, boys?
Good to see you guys. Hello, Ross. Looking very fit.
I heard at one point in time, you walked up to a grown man, hugged him, looked him in the eye, and said, "What are we doing?"
That's pretty common, actually. I usually don't know what's going on. Something my Trey picked up.
Yeah, the chat room, Shred Bear in the chat room says, I got an empty-eyed hug at the end of the night after the longest goodbye.
Remind me.
Well, that's what you were doing on the mic, man. Like, you got up there and you were like, look, I just want to cover all these bases. I don't fault you for it at all. Just not going to give you any, because I knew all the listeners are like,
just tell me.
How? I did tell you. I said, I got this. You didn't accept it. I did tell you.
Stop me.
I can't. You're bigger than me. You're bigger than me. I'm Orlando's weakest podcaster, and you're going for Orlando's strongest podcaster, and somewhere along the lines, I'm Samuel L. Jackson, and you're old, what's the guy with the forgetful disease? Yeah, you're old dementia.
Willis.
Yeah, you're Dementia Willis.
You're like Bruce Banner sitting there saying, "Why didn't you stop the Hulk? Why didn't you just restrain him?" It's the Hulk, Tom.
But you were having fun, and I'm not going to fault anybody for having fun. Like the days of me like I didn't text you one thing, hey, how you feeling, buddy? I was hoping you weren't getting those. Because I'm done with that. I'm serious. No more hard time for good time. I'm not doing it.
I got a lot of those from BDMs that have my number. Oh, yeah. They text me the next day. And I'm like,
Dan
you were just as drunk.
Did Dan do that?
Dan? No.
I didn't do that. I got your back, dog. Follow you to hell. I got your back.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. No more. And I would urge everybody else out there, no more, and wives too, no more hard time for good time. If it stayed in his pants and if nobody got arrested, Relax.
Although bullying is my love language, that's how I know you like me, if you bully me good.
Okay. I like you, but I just figured you were getting enough of a hard time.
You have to be like, hey, did you have? How you feeling, buddy?
Tracy. Tracy said. Oh man, we get a lot of people. You were contacting a lot of people apparently. Tracy said she got a lot of drunk texts from you.
No,
someone said you were slurring on the mic and they loved it.
Oh God.
I love the slurring on the mic.
I'll tell you a story on the BDM show after.
Okay, yeah, you'll have to be a
involve
BDM.
Taco Bell.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say Taco Bob, and I was like, I know what that is. I know what that is.
So Jay Pinkham is here to talk about wrestling. So
yeah, let's do it.
Well, Jay made a compelling case to me. This is how we got here, right? So he emailed me, and he's like, look, Dan, wrestling is better than it's ever been right now. And I've been hearing rumblings. I've been seeing the whole American Nightmare angle. I haven't been keeping up with AEW as much as I should, but I do. Me and my wife, we do enjoy wrestling. I'm a little surprised that your boys haven't been bitten by the wrestling fly at all. I mean, those guys should be flipping off the bed and breaking some arms right about now, right? Isn't that the Florida
man? It's about the age where you start doing that.
It's the Florida way.
They're not allowed to watch wrestling. Are you kidding me? Violent TV?
A lot of wrestlers are vegan and vegetarian. That's the angle I'm throwing towards Max. A lot of them are nutritionists.
Ross, we let them watch anything.
They're on regular YouTube.
Yeah.
They're on regular YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm still on YouTube, kids. I still have a baby. Like Maisie is such a little, like she is such a, like still a child. Now, dare I say, she's into her dance and she's expressing like, you know, I guess adult qualities on her dedication, but she's still a baby.
You understand that just means she's hiding it from you, Dan.
No.
The things she wants to watch.
Maybe,
no, it's not. It's not that. It's like she is
she's
baby
like Andrea. She's like Andrea.
Nerd.
She's a nerd.
Andrea doesn't even curse. I'm telling you.
I was going to use this for the BDM show, but this is a real conversation Maisie and I had last night. I was just messing around with her. We're laying in bed and we're watching the Braves game. And I said, oh, God, they're playing like, and I didn't say anything. And she goes, you were about to say a curse word. And I go, no, I was going to say like crap. And she goes, no, you were going to say a curse word. She goes, it really makes me sad when you curse. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? Because I love you so much, when I'm around you, I said, you know I curse in my day job. But when I'm around you, I will not curse. Would you like that? And she goes, yes, I would like that. So I'm going to respect it now. I'm going to try not to curse around her.
I've let my sons watch episodes of South Park. They watch. They love Family Guy.
Maybe they'll be better for it. I mean, like Maisie's going to be shocked when she gets into the real world.
Get it out of the way early, and they're not shocked, like he said, not shocked by it down the road a little bit. Maybe.
I mean, I think she might be a little shocked. She's definitely going to judge. Like she thinks that people that curse, and I don't know where she got this, but she thinks it is trashy. You can feel it.
Well, that is kind of right.
It's judgy. It's real judgy.
You're dropping F-bombs at the Christmas party in front of all the balls. You know, I'm just like, calm down. Anyway.
Wait until she starts judging tattoos.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're right.
Jay, you say better than ever, but it can't be better than the 90s wrestling war.
No, it'll never be as good as it was in the Attitude Era when it was getting 4, 5, 6 million viewers a week. Now we're in the 2 range. AEW doing about 700,000.
Nice.
I've got my opinions on AEW. I'll keep them to myself because there is a BDM wrestling page, and I get kind of attacked for kind of crapping on AEW a little bit, but that's a whole different ballgame.
Well, you're on a show. Say your opinions. Well,
I think AEW stinks.
I'll say my opinion. AEW, like to me, is like the guys that I know that are really into wrestling, like they live and breathe it, I think they like it because it has some of those like throwbacks to sometimes I find it corny. You know,
you've got a guy who's got his daddy's money in Tony Khan. His father owns the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
And I think it's called a money mark in the business. He just throws money at it so he can book a wrestling show. He's like, okay, this is me. He's the head booker. He's the head of creative. He decides everything at the end of the day. He's not a TV writer. He's not a wrestling writer. He's just a fan who had a crap ton of money that started his own promotion.
And wrestling people listening to us and give our opinions here are going to get real mad about this, right? So we should try to whip the bee's nest.
That's all. I'm throwing rocks at this bee's nest all day long.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's the thing. Jay knows this is a world I have no idea about. Yeah. All that I know is that
God, I was
John
hoping your
Cena
kids would have
popular.
mullets and be wrestling.
It's not too late.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
Well, it's weird because they never expressed any interest. They know, and it's funny because they'll say his name is John Cena, and they'll do the da 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 da. But they know that from YouTube, and that's all. And I'm like, hey, do you want? I mean, wrestling is a thing. Like
you guys
John
want to
Cena,
be wrestlers? You could tell them youve wrestled before. That might impress them.
More than a
triathlete.
Or it might push them further away from wrestling.
I didn't think about that.
It just, I don't know.
Ross with the right answers all the time.
And maybe they're a couple years away or whatever, or maybe because I don't consume it that they are don't. I have no idea.
I would say that has a huge part of it. Like my
it seems like it's a dad-son thing.
My dad
that's how I got into it.
Yeah, me too. My dad loved Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. He loved their take. Those were his two favorite guys, and those were the guys I followed, and we were NWA wrestler guys.
You see, growing up in New Hampshire, WCW, NWA seemed to us up there like podunk backwoods type of stuff because we had WWF. We grew up on Hogan. We grew up on Warrior, guys like that.
Classy wrestling.
Yeah, that down here was wrestling. Up there was wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, when you really looked at it, but I really wish that I didn't look at it that way because some of the stuff that came out of Florida Championship Wrestling and Georgia Championship Wrestling was just such good quality stuff. It wasn't the cartoony stuff where every wrestler had an occupation. You know what I mean? It was down here. It was, okay, this is Ric Flair. This is Dusty Rhodes. This is Magnum TA. These guys are just badasses that are going to fight. And I really wish I'd gotten into that.
I do miss the days when, like, the ring announcer would be like, and then your opponent coming to the ring, the Baker. And it would just be some guy like in Baker's outfit. He's got a black bag of flour. He's throwing flour.
That's how WWF was.
You be doing
there is a guy right now, Jay.
Is some redneck guy doing a racist Italian accent?
No, there's a guy. No, there's a guy called the Pizza Maker.
Yep. I can't think of his name right now.
And he's tossing real dough on the way to the ring.
And while he's wrestling, he's got dough in the ring.
He's constantly moving the dough, and it's real corny. But he does all the moves. He has the mustache. He has the hat. And he just like always, and he never like his finishing move. Like once you're incapacitated, he's like spinning the dough, and then he lets it go, and it falls in your face and kills you.
With an apron, a white apron in the ring, and so that's the goofy stuff that's just entertaining and funny right now. There's a independent guy called the veteran Jack Vaughn.
Oh, we're not supposed to talk about the pizza guy. The chat room saying that pizza guy, he's called the pizza guy,
ruins the business.
QAnon wackanut, and we're giving him too much airtime. So don't even.
My bad. Sorry.
I liked him. Now I love him.
He's like my new favorite wrestler. You mean the guy?
He needs to incorporate that.
Yeah.
You know, they
needs
never
to be the pizza man conspiracy theory. You write a Q on your pizza.
We need something to talk about while we're eating this pizza.
Is it cheese pizza? That's girls. Pepperoni pizza. That's boys.
Oh my God.
Jay, did they ever?
Right. That was the code.
Have they
lock her up?
Oh, then that means Dave Portnoy must be a girl then. Right. It's just cheese pizza.
Have they dipped their toe in the politics of like the
not the way they used
versus
to.
the Biden or something
like
that?
Not in the big companies. You've got your independent stuff that does do that, but it's just to get clicks on the internet. But WWE and AEW, it's too divisive. Don't even bother. Just stay away from it.
Yeah, it gets too real. There used to be a time.
Yeah, but radio. I mean, they'll do. I mean,
no. I used to
Vince McMahon.
No,
he's
somebody will
not
get killed.
in
I used to go to like the Eddie Graham Sports Complex with my dad. I went twice, but I remember you would go and there'd be like, the bad guys from Iran. And we're all, and
that was
the
early
booing
90s.
The Russians and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was a thing, but you can't do that now.
But of the two guys you named, Trump and Biden, one of them's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Damn it, you're right.
That's true. Look it up.
Good Lord.
You have a slice of pizza, look it up.
Only Hall of Famers get my vote, I'll tell you that.
But I'm surprised they never even then like insinuated like have some like a American like American flag guy.
I don't think they can figure out how to do it without it being
and then
bad.
have some like environmental tree hugger or like
they've done that before. Yeah.
No, Daniel Bryan did that gimmick with the wooden belt for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wanted a wooden belt.
Or like have some like woke character and people are like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just surprised, maybe they want nothing to do with that. But
you're kind of describing the $1 Million Man. The $1 Million Man versus like anybody was kind of that, basically.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, fighting the rich guy. Well, the early 90s, 1991, WrestleMania 7, you had Sergeant Slaughter turned heel and was an Iraqi sympathizer. This was during Desert Storm.
During Desert Storm. Wait, back up.
What does Sergeant Slaughter say? He's like, all right, hold on.
They're just people, everybody.
It's just a different culture.
So Mr. G.I. Joe.
Saddam Hussein had some points.
It's just something you don't understand, brother, and we're more alike than we are different, brother.
So Sergeant Slaughter, Mr. G.I. Joe, Mr. All-American, that was his gimmick forever.
I have his G.I. Joe.
He turned.
The Kuwaitis were asking for it.
He turned and started being an Iraqi sympathizer. This was during.
Oh, he wore a thing.
He didn't wear the thing.
He didn't wear the thing?
Actually, no, he did wear the thing.
I think he wore the thing.
And he teamed up with Iron Sheik, who was General Adnan. And I'm sorry, General Adnan was Adnan al-Qaisi, and Colonel Mustafa. That was the Iron Sheik, and they made a team to go against Hulk Hogan. This is in 1991, mind you. They were going to have WrestleMania 7 at the LA Sports Stadium. All right, the Coliseum in L.A. And then they said, you know what? We probably shouldn't put 90,000 people in one spot when we're in the middle of A, a war, and B, making it seem like it's USA versus Iraq. Bad things could probably happen, so they moved it indoors to the sports arena and put about 15,000 in there. They did a gimmick where Slaughter burned Hogan's T-shirt on a flagpole.
As close to getting him to the flag. That's as close as you get before Sergeant Starter, because you're going to have some grown men up there cry and then go to their cars to get guns.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah. That was cutting edge at the time. They told Sergeant Slaughter, hey, is your wife at home right now with your kids? And he's like, yeah. He goes, get him out of there. He was getting death threats, and they were really concerned for his well-being. It almost became, quote-unquote, real at that point.
There were probably some fans more mad at him burning a Hulk Hogan shirt than they would have been at burning the flag.
That's an excellent point. You never burn the red and yellow. You never burn the red and yellow.
So let's talk about
game-worn memorabilia, man.
Hell yeah.
Now, 2024, the state of wrestling. I imagine me and Daniel were talking about it today, because now with everything going streaming, right, it opens up the possibility to do more risque things that you can get away with now that the FCC is not involved.
I like what was it, Lucha Underground?
Lucha Underground was fantastic.
See, I loved it because for me, and I thought that ticked all the boxes. You got your fantasy and your magic, and I'm not even a big part of that. I don't like that part the most. Like the Undertaker, when he's like, is he really the undead? I don't care about any of that. I've never liked that part. Fantasy, magic, and wrestling is not my thing, but they did a good job with it. They had like creatures and monsters and wizards and like powers and stuff like that, and they did a really good job with it. It was super violent, and also it was super sexy. Like and like I think if I were gonna do it, I want PG-13, the occasional topless girl. Okay. That's what I want. I think it would rule. I think that you would get, from the age of 13 to dead guys, you're going to get them watching. And I don't want pornography. I don't want, I'm just, I just want the spiciness of Miss Kitty in the baby pool when she flashed him for 3 seconds at WrestleMania and my dad stood up. I'm chasing nostalgia, okay? I'm chasing that
You can put some pasties on it, but
put some pasties on. My dad stood up. My dad stood up in my house, and we were stealing this. We were stealing that. We'd run the cable from the line.
Black box?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Was it pay-per-view?
It was a pay-per-view, and we were stealing it, and she splashed him, and my dad stood up, and he goes, God damn it! And it's a core memory in my brain that I think about it now. I got a grin, like a massive grin on my face. I'm triggering myself right now.
You know,
you need that with your boys.
I need to show my sons that I'm horny. I have not shown them. I have not shown my sons that I'm interested in women.
I agree with that. They probably think you might be gay. They've never seen you.
Like, I've never openly in front of them.
You're never attracted to
hey,
your wife.
Look at that.
Do you ever
girl.
Grab your wife's ass and go, oh,
yeah, I do with her. I have to,
not in front of your boys.
No,
that's their mother.
No, well, not grab their butt, but we hug.
Not your
and
boys'
kiss.
butts. You got it all wrong, man.
No. But it's like Daniel remembers your dad getting excited over breasts.
Yeah, but
I've never shown my sons that. I need to show them.
I also found my mom's spearmint-flavored edible underwear in my dad's upper drawer. You know what I mean? Like, I found the stuff.
You hope it was your mom.
So you're right.
So, Jay.
Could have been my dad.
As
my grandma.
we get closer to it being streaming only, because eventually it's getting there, and it's getting there faster. Like I was telling Daniel, with the NFL, like streaming only games and stuff, like they're setting an example to everybody else, and it's gonna go there. So what do you think they move toward, like, or offering a little more risque content that maybe for adults and like older people?
The way it sits right now, so it's TV PG on USA Network for Monday Night Raw. They're only moving Monday Night Raw to Netflix. SmackDown's going to go and be on USA. So Fox is dropping SmackDown, and I believe SmackDown's gonna stay on USA. If you go Netflix route with Raw and start getting more risque and more violent even, and on one show, how do you leave the other show, which is the same type of thing, PG? So, okay, I'm going to watch Raw, and I'm going to see more violence. I might see a little bit of blood. I might see some more cleavage. I might see some more risque storylines. And then you go to SmackDown, and it's your normal cookie-cutter PG stuff. It'd be tough to differentiate the fact between the two, but the thing is, if you go more risque, you run the risk of losing sponsorships, because your main sponsorship, your Snickers, your things like that, they might drop it if they get too risque.
Well, on Netflix, they're not going to have commercials, so it leaves it open to leave the one that's still in USA to be more family friendly, because people still want to enjoy it with their kids and the storylines and have it safe, and then have that's what I'm saying. Have another one that's like, this isn't for anybody under 13. You know, it's like, this is
kind of like what we do with our show.
And then there's an option.
Friday show and we do a weekly show,
because there's so many adult wrestling fans that. And
again, I'm not looking for it to be crazy. I'm just looking for a little taste of that Attitude Era.
Yeah.
You know, here's something that I think Lucha Underground did, which I was always surprised they didn't do this, because, guys, this is fantasy. But didn't they have men fight women in Lucha Underground?
They had intergender matches all the time.
And I loved it because it did add to the gender. Like, it kind of like evened everything, where the storylines that we're going into, like,
why not do more of that?
It's fantasy. It's not real. It's no different than in Game of Thrones. You've got who's the lady?
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, Brienne of Tarth. Like,
huge crush on Brienne of Tarth. Dude.
One of my favorite characters, if not my
defeated
favorite.
the Hound.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm just saying, it's awesome.
Almost
right?
on last season.
Pretty darn cool, right? Why not do that?
There's a lot of people in WWE right now that were on Lucha Underground. Ricochet was Prince Puma.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. And Chelsea
Ricochet.
Green, Io Sky, a lot of them came from Lucha Underground. They've been in the business forever. But Lucha Underground was great. I mean, you had the Gift of the Gods Championship. You had the sketchy owner who died in the show. They killed him off. I mean, it was really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They did murder the brother, and then his other brother came and took over the.
He was the big giant dude in the mask.
But he died. No, he took over after he killed the brother.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had
a
murder.
long time ago.
Dude,
yeah,
they had
there was murder in that. Well, they killed Vince McMahon a long time ago too.
Right.
I mean,
only to have him come back and poop on people.
God, I was hoping not to bring
Write
that up,
in there.
Here we are.
Write that in there.
I was thinking about that the other day.
I think about
Thinking
it
about
every
him
morning.
pooping on somebody?
Every morning when I wake up,
Rick,
I think about that new stupid mustache he has now. I'm guessing he has it now. We'll never see him again.
Mustache?
No, he looks like Wario.
Because I don't know all the details of like what P. Diddy did and Vince did, but I know
cut his
that
car on fire.
they're in the same universe, right?
Yes.
Of sharing women or a woman
Trafficking
with friends.
women.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I don't know all the details, but it seems like
I never heard Diddy doing the number 2.
and then you add the number 2 with Vince McMahon, but they swept the Vince McMahon thing under the rug. Like the Diddy thing
it was
is
more
still,
of a squeegee. But
Like I don't know if that's money or a race thing. I have no idea. But why did the Diddy thing is more sensational to people than the Vince McMahon? I mean, Pete Diddy's more popular, I guess.
Yeah, I would imagine. He is.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah,
so.
Diddy above and beyond Vince. I mean, not everyone in the world knows who Vince is, but everyone
Vince
in the world knows
rich,
who Diddy is.
But he's not. You know what I mean? Like he's worth a lot of money.
And you've also seen his name in conjunction with like literally every insane thing you could think of through the years. So like you're kind of numb to Vince McMahon headlines, you know?
Yeah. And P. Diddy is kind of like, whoa, it shocked a lot of people. Anyway, so besides from the moving to Netflix, what else is going to be the future of like AEW? Are they ever going to become as popular as WWE?
No, never. They're drawing 1,500, 2,500 people to a Dynamite taping, which is a nationally televised live show. WWE is consistently putting 15,000 people in their arenas for Raw and SmackDown every single show. AEW to me is a niche market. AEW to me is I don't want to get myself in trouble here.
I don't know what you expected, Tom, asking a known internet AEW hater that question. What other kind of answer are you expecting to get out of this guy?
It's not hate. It's just something that's different. It's geared
not hate.
towards.
I just detest it and wish it would go away.
It's geared more towards the internet smart marks, which is people that know all the ins and outs of the business.
You guys hear that? He hates you.
Well, it takes a little bit to get it.
It does. It's the wrestling itself. Most of the time is phenomenal. They concentrate on, like last night there was a pay-per-view and it was Will Ospreay, who's probably the best wrestler on the planet, against Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm. And they're already saying it's the greatest wrestling match in the history of the United States. I haven't seen it. Who knows? Dave Meltzer, the guy that writes The Observer.
I say that about every interview we have on the show. I'm like, that's
the
best interview we've ever
had. We can just stop now. Dave Meltzer is writing The Wrestling Observer for like 40 years. And he's this 60-year-old dude who lives in his mom's basement. And
a life well lived.
Right? I mean, why
Depends
not?
on the basement.
True. Yeah, it's pretty true. And he gives star ratings to these matches, and he caters to the internet wrestling community. He could give a 30-minute classic at WrestleMania 3.5 stars, but give a random opening match on AEW 4 3/4. It's like, it's just, he gears towards that.
Right.
And then everyone likes AEW. Oh, Vince is terrible. WWE is terrible. I hate it. And it's vice versa. The WWE fans that don't like AEW aren't as vocal as the opposite. Okay. That's how I look at it.
What about NWA, owned by Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins?
Very entertaining.
Right up the road. In fact, our good friend, Drew Garabo, has been invited to many tapings. In fact, I believe last week Drew Garabo was asked to participate in one of their matches. I don't know what he did,
okay.
But it was Drew, and I believe on the ask of Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins that Drew participated in a match.
Wow.
Well, how did he get involved?
No, I don't. I think Billy Corgan, low key, has always been, since he was a young boy in Chicago, a huge wrestling guy. And I think once he got like buttloads of, infinite sadness money, he decided he'd load it up and buy himself NWA wrestling.
And he's not trying to do too much with it.
No,
he's
just
keeping
does what
it
he
small,
likes.
and it's great. It's
he
very
wants to
entertaining.
grow it organically. He's there at the tapings. He's part of it. He's drawing less than AEW. Maybe
he's not in it to make $1 billion off it. He just wants to keep that name alive.
Yes.
Keep it simple. Keep it old school in the studio.
I like what he's doing because it's small. He's keeping it small. He's very approachable about it. He's not trying to reinvent the wheel.
And Tom, if your question was about how Drew got involved, it's because he does radio in Tampa, which is a real radio market.
That's true.
Radio market.
That is true.
Yeah, it's also wrestling crazy in Tampa. Bigger than Orlando.
LA Knight came through NWA.
It's crazy. Oh, LA Knight's a great wrestler. Yep. It's crazy that all of the people that look like Dog the Bounty Hunter moved to Florida. All of them, including Dog the Bounty Hunter, who is now a new resident of Marco Island.
Oh, yeah.
Florida is the number one place to maintain your Bologna tan.
Yeah, you got the fact that you went Bologna instead of Bologna is really the difference. I can kiss you on the mouth right now. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Bologna.
So what if, what if they pulled...
And Paul Tuttle Sr., I got to point that out. I didn't know that either, but Paul Tuttle Sr. moved from OCC. He moved everything, liquidated OCC, moved it all to Clearwater. There's a museum. We could go to the Paul Tuttle Sr. Orange County Choppers. I think it's called Roadhouse and Museum, because if you're a biker guy and you open up a bar, it has to be called a Roadhouse.
Of course.
Right? Which just means you have tater skins and bike parking.
Peanuts on the floor.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
So what if the Saudis got involved and brought in huge money to go against WWE and started bringing bring big names just like Liv to try to compete with the PGA, and then all of a sudden they have to strike a deal and work together.
Old grumpy Greg Norman. About
Phil Mickelson's out there betting millions of dollars every shot he takes.
I loved you, Greg Norman. I loved you. I love the Shark.
Now, there is a rumor now that Vince is out of everything. He is out of everything.
Oh, they had to get him out fast.
They didn't get out fast enough.
As fast as he got out on that girl's head. Read that story. If anybody hasn't heard that, read the story and then think to yourself, how did this not become a bigger joke?
Do it to yourself.
You know what I imagine?
It's so insane.
You know what
Ross, you know about this?
You know what
I can't. I'll tell you on the BDM show.
No, don't do it on
I imagine
this
it
show.
like this, too. I imagine it like leg up. Like this. I imagine it like this. And that's how he's going.
But now this is while someone else is there with her at the time.
No,
not be any more
from
graphic.
what I understand, she's incapacitated by... she's
come on, you can't even say it.
From what I understand,
you can't even reference it.
She's talking to somebody, and he's behind her talking to her, right? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Vince does something, and then he's like, okay, well, I did the thing I needed to do. I dropped him off. I'm going to take a shower.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Then came back.
Yeah, they came back to finish watching, I guess.
God. So, back to...
The news was on. Came back to watch the news.
So now that the pervert's gone, there is a rumor that he might get with the Saudis and start up another company.
Okay.
It's a rumbling. It's a rumor. Now that he has nothing to do with WWE and TKO, who now owns them, there's a rumor that he'll get with the Saudis and make even more money. Now, this is how brilliant the Saudis are. When they started bringing shows over, they're like, we want Yokozuna to come over.
And they love going on people.
I remember that. That's been the rumor. That's where back like 10, 15 years ago, there was a page on Instagram that Tom and I followed. It was called Hummus Face.
Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all I'm going to say. Moving on. Yeah, we got to move on. Keep moving, Jay.
This will be our last show, by the way.
Power through.
It'll be your fault.
You're welcome.
I'm blaming Hummus Face, Jay Pinkham.
They wanted to bring in Andre the Giant and Yokozuna. Both had been dead for 10 years.
Doing that? Oh, my God.
Getting 156 beers will do that to you.
I mean, what do you mean bring back?
They didn't realize that they were dead. They just knew the names.
Oh, okay. So
they had no idea they were dead. They wanted to bring Yokozuna in and bring Andre the Giant in. They've been dead for decades. What are you doing?
Now hold on.
You could find a guy similar.
Dress him up in a caveman outfit. Good to go. Yeah.
So just for entertainment purposes, how good would it be if Vince McMahon got together with the Saudis and then they threw unlimited money and then he tried to put together the most ridiculous, over-the-top, because he can go, I mean, he goes back to the 90s.
Yeah. What if it's just him out there doing what he does best? You know what I'm saying? What if it's him? What if the first one he just walks out, he takes the robe off, and it's off to the races?
Streaming only.
Yeah.
It could be the most popular one, right? If he just went like racist, sexist, the worst you could possibly.
Well, I would say just go uncensored.
Yeah,
right?
Just
do what you want.
No, but it then did like horrible things. Like people were watching, right? Think about our world.
This is our grand champion, Blackface Hulk Hogan. So they have Blackface Hulk Hogan out there.
People would be going crazy for it.
Hogan be all up for that.
What about
this? Is Puerto Rican Undertaker. So he has like Puerto Rican Undertaker come out.
Vince McMahon, the Saudis tell him unlimited money, but they also tell him we want Andre the Giant. So he decides he's going to clone Andre the Giant. Jurassic Park with Andre the Giant.
He kept some of his DNA from the 90s.
I love that idea. A cloning angle?
Yeah.
You missed your mark. Pun intended. You could have written for wrestling, Ross. You're smart enough.
Right?
You're smart enough because they like the weird, too. A cloning Andre the Giant angle?
Yeah. They tried that in WCW by saying that Big Show was Andre's son.
Yeah, I didn't.
We could
tell it wasn't the same body style.
We got Andre's DNA from his three-wheeler seat.
Yeah.
Able to clone him.
It's not a bad idea, man.
He loved that three-wheeler.
Yeah, who doesn't love three-wheelers?
Little Honda 110 putting around.
I think that's what made him. That's what made me and him like on the same level, right? Like I love three-wheelers. You love three-wheelers. I'd hug him.
Florida loves three-wheelers.
Yeah, man. Florida loves you, Andre.
Nothing better than a tiny beer bottle on Andre the Giant's hand, dude.
I'll never know that feeling. Every beer bottle to me is like holding a 3-liter of Mountain Dew.
Every time I grab one of those little 8-ounce beers, I'm like, look, I'm Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Same type of deal.
Okay, Jay, you've been watching wrestling forever. If that happened, I mean, how many people would tune in to see how crazy it would be?
Or is he too bad now? Is the name too tarnished where all wrestling fans are over
the internet? Wrestling fans,
wrestling fans are. I'll say this, and I think Jay will agree. I think wrestling fans are the most finicky people I've ever met in my life.
Absolutely.
I've never seen a group of internet people that hate and love their product more. I think wrestling fans are worse than just standard Facebook, and that's a hard thing to say. Like, I think they're worse than regular trolls. Like, wrestling fans are the hardest to please I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
I've never seen them happy.
Yep. 100%. There's always something to bitch about. Always something to complain about. But going back to that, people would watch it because it's like a car wreck. You cannot help but turn your head and rubberneck and look at it. People would watch it at first. It'd be just like the XFL, the original incarnation. Everyone went crazy for it. Right at the beginning, it was doing huge ratings. By the end of that season, this is a hilarious fact to me. By the end of that first season of the XFL in 2001 or 2002, the last game of the season was the lowest rated television show in the history of television.
Well,
it got like a .02 or something like that.
The problem with the XFL is it's actually a game, and they can't script it, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but with wrestling, you can script the most ridiculous storylines you want, and since everything's scripted, you have complete control. The XFL, they tried to change some rules to make it more interesting,
faster, quicker,
and,
behind
you
the
can
scenes.
put whatever you want on the back of your jersey.
Yes,
but then they're still playing a game, and then guess what? We're used to seeing a higher level of play than the XFL can play because their players aren't as good.
But
then we got bored of it.
They threw your favorite thing in there, though. They threw the horniness in there because remember, it was like, hey, we're going to have cameras in the locker rooms and ding-dongs everywhere. It was like uncensored
and
cameras
cheerleader locker rooms and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that was the beginning of it. I mean,
they lied to us.
I mean, it came back last year, and then now it's dead again.
Exactly. Came back, then went away again.
Quickly before we run out of time, because I know we're talking about current wrestling right now, what did you think of the American Nightmare narrative and how that went in WWE and, Cody Rhodes finishing out, like, I guess his story?
Finishing the story, yep. I mean, it was done very, very well. His injury kind of derailed things when he tore his pec and then worked a Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins with basically just a purple whole side of his body. It was insane how he actually wrestled doing that. But without the injury, I think they would have done it quicker. The long haul storyline was he was going to beat Roman Reigns, guaranteed. The crowd was so behind it, but you just wait until they get sick of him and they turn.
I'm already sick
of
him.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've
the fans will get sick of it.
I've always hated there's only one thing I hate about Cody, and it's his American tattoo in his neck. It's horrible, and he needs to have it removed.
It wasn't supposed to be that big, I guess he said.
It looks terrible. It's very distracting.
It is.
I like the name American Nightmare. I like that. Your dad was the American Dream. I get it.
Yep.
You have a lisp just like your dad. I get it. I love it. Like, I see it. The tattoo's just too distracting. And your hair being that bleached blonde and knowing that it's bleached blonde, you got to do better, dude. You got to do better. It looks lame.
This may be an unpopular opinion with wrestling fans, but I'll get it out real quick before we run out of time. So you get Cody Rhodes, mid-Carter in WWE, Stardust, all this stuff, all right?
He was great at Stardust.
I loved Stardust. Stardust was fantastic.
Yeah, it's like an androgynous,
him tagging with his brother, Goldust,
you
was
never
fantastic.
knew what gender they were, and they would it was the best.
It was really, really cool. So then he leaves. He's a mid-card guy at best, Intercontinental title a couple of times, mid-card at best, leaves, goes to AEW, all right? Helps start up AEW. That goes well, whatever. He's a big star there. Then he decides to leave and come back, and he's the biggest star on the planet. It made no sense to me how he got over so huge by no one really cared about him when he was there the first time. He leaves and comes back, and now he's the top guy in the business. I still haven't understood that.
Jay, every time you say AEW, I want a root beer float.
It's one of the problems with the name. It's one of the problems with the name. I hate when I hear AEW too.
Yep.
I think of that store in the mall that I was going to say my
mom.
Right? It's my wife. I was going to say my mom. But my wife loves her. If you ask my wife, what's your favorite restaurant in any mall? And my wife would go, oh, it's the A&W root beer mini corn dog.
Dude.
My wife's favorite mall restaurant is A&W root beer corn dog. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's the most random weirdo BS that my wife, like, every time we go to a mall, they have an A&W. Have to stand in line and get a box of mini corn dogs and a root beer. I'm like, what are you?
I don't know.
I don't know any other person that's ever eaten an A&W root beer corn dogs.
They had to be in a straitjacket. I don't know what lunatic dropped a scoop of vanilla ice cream into a cup of root beer, but amazing.
It is.
So
Can't
good.
beat
It is.
Cannot beat
It's
it.
so
It's so
creamy.
good.
Now,
Yeah.
Maisie doesn't like it.
What?
Maisie doesn't like it. Yeah, she don't like it. She's a traditionalist. She likes her soda separated from her ice cream.
So now I know I have sons that should be around the age that are getting into wrestling.
I think you're getting there. I think I got into it around 12 or 13.
The problem
was
is
8.
they are my sons, and we're not into fantasy.
Like reality.
So I don't know if maybe that's something. I have no idea. But anyway, is wrestling as popular with the younger generation as it was when, like, I was in middle school in the late 90s?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Back then, everyone in the world knew who Stone Cold Steve Austin was.
Yeah.
Before The Rock became what he is now, everyone knew who The Rock was.
They know John Cena.
As a meme.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's because of other things now. Now being doing
and
the
also
acting
his
too.
television show and all the movies he's been in, all the commercials he's done, and his charitable work. He's done enough charitable work for, I think my mom even knew who he was because of how many Make-A-Wish kids he's visited.
Wasn't he some kind of dumb Olympian too or something?
I don't know. Was he?
Wasn't he?
You know what's funny?
I know the Olympian was Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle,
Kurt
yeah.
Angle, yeah.
Yeah.
Then he also got on steroids and chased his wife in a parking lot. That's pretty cool.
And
Perk Angle.
Yeah.
I used to call him Perk Angle because he was so pilled up.
Oh, yeah. He loved
so
it.
bad.
They'll say his name is John Cena, da, 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 and then I'll mention, like, hey, do you guys want to check out wrestling? They're not interested. It's like, well, why'd you say that? They're like,
they just want to be part of society.
They just like the meme.
It was in Minecraft.
Yeah,
Don't even realize that he was a wrestler. It's just this meme, this person. No idea what he did before that.
Am I
bizarre.
doing a disservice to my daughter because she doesn't speak in any of those? She doesn't know any of that.
No, you
better
don't want
life.
to. Yeah.
No, but like, does she need it? I don't want her. I don't need a Tarzan uses a fork for the first time scenario on my hand. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that. I've seen that movie where he's got the dress shirt on and he's like, I can't do this, and he rips his shirt off and runs from the fancy dinner.
No, like
and then they can't find him.
Like high-level athletes, they kind of put them in their own bubble. Like Patrick Mahomes grew up; he didn't know. It was all
You can
about
tell
football.
he doesn't know anything. You can tell that.
Hey,
And
500
then
million.
You could look at Patrick Mahomes and tell he doesn't know how to order a pizza online.
Yeah.
Like I get like, you don't know how to order it from Domino's, do you? Like I know you can't.
And then that one kid got catfished because he was in such a bubble.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
He's also really dumb. My
wife got really mad at me because
dumb.
Neve from the show Catfished. Neve from the show Catfished this weekend, I think, was a guide for a runner in the Boston Marathon, a blind man, run the Boston Marathon. And I looked at Andrea and I go, he wasn't blind. He got catfished. And Andrea didn't like that. Making fun of blind people getting... No, it's not good.
I remember back in the 90s, you could pretend to be blind a lot more for comedy. Not so much anymore.
Yeah. Even in pornos. I remember there was a Christy Canyon porno where a guy comes to her door and rings the doorbell, and he's like, I'm collecting money for the blind. And she's like, can you see? And then she like pulls her top hat down, and he doesn't react. She's like, oh, yeah, he's really blind. So she invites him in. And then just starts getting naked. And then,
all you need is a
spoiler alert. No,
all you got to do is put sunglasses on, hold a couple pencils.
Well, I think my daughter's going to have to do that because guess what she's playing Friday in the Wax Museum at school? Helen Keller.
So a weird character.
Yeah. All her choice. That's a Dennis original.
Easy to act out, at least.
Yeah, it's a Dennis original. I go, who are you? Everybody else is like somebody like we got like Michelle Obama. We got we got a Donald Trump. We got
what has the least amount of lines?
Joe Biden. We got like all like people like and my daughter Helen Keller.
Your kid's school is doing a wax museum with the student. Who is the principal? The crypt keeper?
her principal, Scott York.
So, Jay,
he's just like a St. Augustine Spaniard.
We got to go, Jay. Are you doing any announcing anywhere?
Yeah, I've got a amateur MMA boxing Muay Thai event in Melbourne coming up on June 1st for Hurricane Fighting Championships.
All right.
Nice.
Cool. Ross, are you going to be doing stand-up anywhere?
I'd cede my plug time to one. Does the principal of this school know these kids are made out of meat, not wax? Like, the whole point of a wax museum, they're made out of wax. It's literally not a wax museum.
I got to get up at 6 a.m. and drip candles all over. It's going to take forever.
All right.
Do they? I'll ask you about it. We'll talk about it in the BDM show. Yeah. We'll switch over to the BDM show.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Let me save that. Are we going straight to BDM?
Yeah, I think we're just going to run through like we've done before.
Thanks for doing that, buddy.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, we got a nice fat 40 out of that. Thanks for doing
that.
I didn't even realize how long we'd gone. I thought we'd done like a 20.
It's like, just kept on going and going.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Thanks for having me. That's great.
Oh, man, our pleasure, dude.
I appreciate it. Anytime you want to do it. Anytime you want to do it again, you let me
we
know
will.
on Monday or Tuesday.
We're going to be popping in to do some wrestling now and again because it's such a hot topic.
Yeah, it is. It's just good now. I mean, Went for a while where I didn't even
there's
care
a
about
lot
it.
of it. Like,
So much.
I was explaining to Andrea because she saw you were coming in today on the schedule, and I was like, well, I guess you could go to the internet. If you really loved it and it was your hobby, you have like 6, maybe 7 different promotions that are big that you can choose from. You can subscribe online to like all the New Japan stuff, like all the different companies that are all around the world.
Just won their title.
Yeah, you can. There's ton, and even like I actually kind of like Billy Corgan's.
It's
vibe.
old school. It's a fun little watch.
Yeah,
It's a fun little watch.
it's
It really
easy.
is. Now WWE just re-trademarked ECW.
I saw that. It didn't come up, but I did see that. I'm wondering if that's going to be their thing.
That might be
Because you could
the
get
risque
away with
one.
it being more violent and just do it on. Yeah, it'd be smarter.
Do what AEW is doing on national television now, but do it on
Right.
on Netflix, because they're doing the blood and the violence and the thumbtacks and all that crap. And a lot of people are shitting all over that. People like that.
Yeah, people do like it.
That crap. I used to love the Japanese tapes.
I go and occasionally I'll get in once a year. I'll go and find some of those Japanese extreme matches where it's all like they know what they're doing, but it's just guys putting on like feats of strength, and they'll take some guy and smash his face into the thumbtacks, and they're all stuck in his head, and it hurts, but that
there was a piranha tank match. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
They put a tank of piranhas in the middle of the ring, right?
I like
and
that.
And the guy's bleeding, and he's dripping blood in the piranha tank, and things are going crazy. Guy pushes him in like chest first, and the things are going. They're not fighting him. He gets out. He's cutting himself to make it look like the piranhas attacked him.
God.
It is just batshit crazy stuff.
That is nuts.
And when I was a kid, growing up north, we'd go to Boston. It was a Japanese store in Boston. And every month or so, me and my buddies would go to Boston, and we'd look at the wrestling section. It was all in Japanese. We didn't fucking know what was going to be on it.
Yeah.
So we all just grabbed a tape and hoped it was some of the deathmatch.
Let's see what's
bullshit.
up, yeah.
Sometimes it was weird and terrible. Other times it was gory and weird and gross. So it was good. It was good. So you still playing Fortnite at all? I saw you on there.
Hell yeah. Just
Yeah.
every once in a while, like a couple times a day. I'm trying to get my ranked up. I just want to get up in ranked this season for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I like the season's fun. The scrolls are a little overpowered, but
Yeah. I'd rather it would just stick to guns and stuff.
we don't need. And Star Wars, I guess, is coming back soon.
Yeah, May 3rd.
Let's just play. We don't need extra crap.
Yeah.
I don't need the Yu-Gi-Oh shit. I don't need this other stuff.
The classic. When they went back to the old school island,
Dude, I'm sorry this turned off again, T.
That was fucking awesome.
Oh, I love
Oh,
absolutely love
I've
that.
put this thing
It
on
was
like
fun.
15
We
times.
did a
Yeah,
challenge.
no, we're
Me
gonna
and two
get
of my
a new
buddies,
one.
We did a thing where we only use scrolls the entire game.
All right.
I don't know how, but we ended up winning.
Guys, I'm going to flip us over to Facebook. So if you'll bear with me, all BDMs were going over to the Facebook page. So